The woman at the center of the Supreme Court case that desegregated America's schools has died.
And when school started, my friends would, in fact, take their books and walk 4 blocks to the all-white school, and I would have to be bused clear across town. And I just didn't understand that. I only knew that I wanted to go to school with the children that I played with on a daily basis.
Linda Brown died on Sunday at the age of 75 in Topeka, Kansas. She was the lead plaintiff in the landmark Brown versus Board of Education case. When Brown was just 9 years old, her father tried to enroll her in an all-white elementary school in Topeka. After she was denied, her father sued. The Supreme Court decision brought an end to legally segregated classrooms in the United States. I want to discuss the ramifications of this. Dr. Shawn Joseph is the director of Metro Nashville Public Schools. Dr. Joseph, by the way, is the first African-American superintendent in the history of Metro Nashville. Quite a distinction, sir. Thank you so much for joining me. I know you'll probably be the first to credit Linda Brown with much of what we have seen here in America. Talk to me about the legacy, as you see it, of Linda Brown.
Absolutely. I mean, Linda's family's courage and her search for excellence changed American history. I mean, if it were not for the Brown case, and had the Brown case not been won, generations of children would be ill-prepared to truly live out the American dream. So we owe her a great deal of gratitude, and thank you.
You make a point, and her family, right? Her father was the one that was, she was the face of this. Her father wanted to have her, enroll in that school and was part of the fight with her. Her family, a great support. This passing of her comes at an interesting time in our nation, to be sure, and I'm sure you've reflected on this as well. I don't think it is an exaggeration to say that while we have come a distance, there still is a ways for us to go.
Absolutely. We still have a tremendous work to do in American public education to make sure that all children get what they need in our schools. I mean, let's face it, schools that serve children of color and poor children still are woefully underfunded, and we see huge disparities in achievement by race. And we've got to do something about that. And I think, the legacy of Brown, is the fact that it's commonplace for children of all races, religions, and ethnicities to learn from one another within our classrooms. But we've now have to make sure that though they're sitting in the same classrooms, they're still all getting high quality education by design.
Absolutely. The desegregation of our schools has ended, but I mean, if you look at some of our cities and towns, one could argue there is, maybe by a different name, segregation in some of our cities.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at Nashville, and we're considered one of the it cities in the country, where we have hundreds of different ethnicities here, but in different parts of our city, I mean, we're clearly still racially divided, and that's a challenge for us as a school system, and like many large urban districts in the country. We've got to make sure that children really have opportunities to learn in diverse environments, and we've got to make sure that they get what they need.
Well, I know superintendents often meet with superintendents of other school districts, even in other states, and I know that you and your colleagues struggle with this very challenge, right? How do you make sure that children have equal access to quality education, no matter their zip code, no matter the color of their skin, no matter their language, no matter their religion or ethnicity? And it's something that you grapple with. Have you found that you're having a measure of success?
Yeah, I mean, we're clear. I mean, research has been clear for generations what needs to be done. I mean, we have to make sure kids have safe environments to start. We've got to make sure they have strong principals and strong teachers, that we're really engaging parents and making parents actively a part of the process. We've got to have clear expectations and a clear vision. We've got to really pay attention to how we're utilizing time and be explicitly clear about what we're monitoring in our schools. I mean, those correlates have been around, but the question becomes, do we have the will and skill to put dollars where they belong and to to make sure that not only the parents that speak the loudest, but all parents have voices. And if parents can't come to board meetings and other places to advocate, then we as the adults need to know they're there and advocate for what they need. And that's what we've been working on here in Nashville. I mean, we're proud to really be focusing on equity and really focusing on getting students what they need, and because different kids need different things, and we've got to acknowledge that treating kids the same is the fastest way to treat them unequally.
Yeah, it's not one size fits all. Great conversation to have, given the call for safety because of what happened in Parkland and other schools across the nation with gun violence. Also a good conversation to be had when we see so many teachers trying to fight for fair pay. Dr. Shawn Joseph, really great to be able to have this conversation and recognize the passing of Linda Brown. Of course, the young girl at the very heart of Brown versus the Board of Education. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.